Okay, the camping season has begun, and so therefore it means Sandy's walking is blocked. There should be a law. Wait a minute, there is. There is an ordinance, but it's not passed. Well, it is passed. It's just not enforced. That's what I meant to say.
Anywhere near the street.
Okay, Denise got a new puppy. Missy! Missy, Missy!
She's 8 weeks old today. Golden Retriever.
So I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Who are you? 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 I gotta go to my Kylie. I gotta go to my Kylie.
Okay.
Do you like your new puppy?
Yeah, I love her. Yeah.
You want to be on it?
She has a white face.
You want to be on it?
No, I said I don't want to be on it. Don't look so
Go ahead, Missy. You can get down, but you can't go by
We'll
the
let you hear Denise in the background because I'm
Yes.
walking early and they have not had time to get beautified.
That's not even it. I have sweats on and I just don't feel like
Oh, she's shaking. Yeah.
camera ready.
She's not camera ready.
Yeah, you can go.
Missy says I am. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
We want her to be able to be out here without running away. Not like Piper.
Yeah, Piper's a herder. Herder.
And she goes after every car. And we're going to teach Missy not to do that. Like every other dog I've had that I've been able to bring out front. That's going to be Missy. Car, Kylie, just hold on.
Which reminds me of a story. We had a dog named Millie that Jim had a friend that owned a farm. And so the dog really did go to the farm, but not to die. The dog lived a long life. But every time we would open the door,
Okay, you can put her down.
Millie would run out the door and go off tearing down the neighborhood. And you'd have to go and chase her. And then you'd go and you'd look for her and you'd go, where did that dang dog go? I can't find her anywhere. And you'd be looking and you'd be standing there and you'd be like, look, and I know that she's got to be around here somewhere. And then all of a sudden you'd hear her bark. And you'd look and you'd see her sitting up in the driveway and she'd be barking to let you know she was there. So as soon as you approached her to go put the leash on her, she'd let you get within 1 or 2 feet and then she was off like a shot again. That dog was a runner from the get-go. So she ran away to the farm because we couldn't put up with her any longer. But she was a good dog. We did like it. It was Danny's dog.
What was her name?
Millie.
No, Millie was your dog that you had.
No, that was Bonnie, the one I had when I was little.
You had Minnie?
Minnie, Moo, and Riley.
Oh, Riley.
Riley was a good dog. Riley was our hunting dog.
Scared of every sound.
He was scared to death of the sound of a gunshot. He was so funny. Jim found a dead duck on the side of the road and brought this dead duck home to teach the dog to retrieve. And the dog would just go and run up to the duck and like look at it and know it was dead and walk away. It was a really good pet dog, but not a hunting dog, even though it was supposed to be a hunting dog. And we paid, at the time, we got that dog in 89. And we paid $350, which back then was a lot of money for a dog, especially since it was supposed to be a hunting dog. But anyway, continuing on with my walk. Denise is not ready to walk just yet. Oh my goodness, 2 days in a row. And it's a different squirrel. Oh, look, he's even looking at me. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Between the dog, he's going to try to get to my feeders. I know that. I know this. I know what this squirrel's plan is. Let's see if he's smart enough to figure it out. Yeah, maybe not. Might have changed his mind. Well, good morning. Today is Sunday, April 11th. Just got back from my walk. We don't have any birthdays. As you saw, we stopped at Denise's house and she got a new puppy yesterday, Missy. It's a golden retriever. She thinks it's going to be more on the reddish color, look a little bit more like the mother. Excuse me, the father was really a deep red, but the puppy kind of resembled the mother, which was like a lighter red. So that's what she's hoping, but she doesn't really care what color she comes out to be. And then the trailers of the campers have started coming back out, blocking my sidewalks. It just doesn't seem fair. There's an ordinance that says that you can't park and block the driveways. You're not even allowed to keep them in the driveway. But I think that if you know somebody, it's a matter of who you know in life. It really is. It's not what you know, it's who you know. I really believe that. So I think that, because my neighbor across the street had a trailer and he got tagged. And then when I was walking, there was a lady and I got talking with her. She was detailing her car. And she says, "Oh, did you go by the trailer down there?" And I go, "Yeah." She says, "He must know somebody." He says, "Because we went camping last year and we came back and our trailer was tagged and told to move within 24 hours. She says, "That thing's there all the time. It's there Monday through Thursday, because on Fridays they go away for the weekends, every weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday it doesn't block my walk." But so I think they're either a police officer, or they know a police officer, or they know somebody. And I had another squirrel, and it's not the same squirrel I saw yesterday, because the squirrel I saw yesterday was a brown squirrel, and this squirrel today was a black squirrel. But I just love that the kids are outside playing. Like my neighbors, I have some new neighbors across the street that just moved in, and they've got 3 little ones. I think the oldest is 7, and then they have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So it's always nice to see new kids moving into the neighborhood. New life, I guess. But I had such a good day yesterday with my new attitude, just like taking it as it comes. I stayed on plan. I did track on my phone. I didn't track in a book, but I tracked on the phone. Stayed well within my points, and just had a really good day all the way around. I just like my new attitude, because I really think it's going to make all the difference in my thought process and stuff. So today we have a store which I absolutely hate going to. It's called Meijer, M-E-I-J-E-R. When my cousin Lynn comes in from Toronto, that's her favorite store to go to. I always say, "I'll wait here." I can't stand that store. But I have eaten at Wahlburgers. I've eaten at the one in Massachusetts. It's not in Boston. I'm trying to think of what city it's in. It's like outside of Boston. Anyway, I've eaten at that one. And I've also eaten at the one in Toronto. And I've eaten in the one in downtown Detroit. And I do love it. It's a little pricey, but I really do like it. So Christy was over the other day, and she said that Meijer's they carry their actual brand of burgers, and you get a 4-pack. I think she said it was $10.99 regularly, and it was on sale this week for $9 for 4 patties, which is kind of high. But if I get like the regular patties at Kroger's, they're almost $8. They're like $7.99 or something like that. So for another $1, I thought, well, I'll give it a try. She says, once you have this burger, you'll never go back to eating the Kroger burgers. So that's what Jim and I are going to have today for dinner, with some fries. The Ore-Ida fries are pretty reasonable in points. I think they're 5 points for 10 fries or something like that. 10 fries is more than enough for me. And then I'll probably just have a little side salad. Well, this is a dog that probably is going to look like Denise's dog, but I can't turn you around because I don't want to film somebody. The dog is beautiful.
Thank you.
But it looks just like, it doesn't look like just like Denise's dog, only full grown. I like when dogs are walking. I'm out. And especially when the dogs in the backyard start barking at them, they just keep on walking like, you're trapped behind a fence. I'm out here in the public. I'm walking wild in the wild. You're caged like an animal. I'm walking free like a king. That's the look I think that they give. But it rained most of the night and part of the morning. It's kind of cloudy right now, so I think we're going to get some more rain later on today. But I was just glad to get my walk in. I was going to go to church today, and I was talking to my neighbor that goes to the same church, and she said she's not going to the church anymore because they don't socially distant. A lot of the people don't wear masks. They don't enforce a mask thing. They don't enforce the social distancing. And I didn't like hearing that. And I know I should probably just go to see for myself. But I guess I'm just not. And I'm fully vaccinated, so I should be safe. I know. Keyword should be safe. That's why I'm still wearing my mask, still being precautious in that, because I know it's still testing and stuff like that. But you know what? I'm willing to be a guinea pig if it's going to work. I really am. I'm really willing to do that. But I'll eventually get back there. I know I will, because I do miss it. So we'll see. Maybe in another couple weeks. When they can Well, of course, they use the air conditioning, which is probably make it even worse because then I don't think they changed the ventilation system. See, now I'm convincing myself. I just need to snap out of it. I got to find maybe a different church. There's a lot of churches around here. They're not close, but there's enough. And see if there's one maybe that has an outdoor service. Since the weather's getting nice, that might be nice. You know, bring your own lawn chair. I don't know why they don't think of something like that. Well, our church, there's no place to do that. But there's a couple churches around here that they have the room that they could do that. I'll have to look into that. So, but other than that, I don't have any major plans for today. Stay on track. Be good. Enjoy my life. Don't stress. And just whatever. Sharon Gamble wanted to hear my shoe story, which I've told before, but I'll tell it again because I told her I would. Way back, probably in the late 70s, maybe early 80s, I had wanted to buy a pair of Rockport shoes, which were like a walking shoe, because I was on one of my many diets. So I thought I'd go for walking. That was when I really developed my love for walking, it was back then. But as soon as I overcame my anxieties that I could be alone, that took me a while. So that had to have been in the 80s then, because I didn't really overcome my anxieties for about 15 years. I had them from like 71 to like 86. When we moved into our house, we moved from Detroit, we moved to Clinton Township. And I was so far away from everybody that I just had to learn to adapt. And through deep prayer, I overcame it and got a job and changed my life. But anyway, so it had to have been in the 80s when I was starting to walk. Yeah, it had to have been because I was walking in that neighborhood. But anyway, it doesn't matter when I did it. Shoes were not that expensive to buy back then. But the Rockports were like $100 for a pair. And I had bought a pair of shoes at the Rockport. I had gone into the store and tried them on because my one foot is bigger than the other. My left foot is bigger than my right foot. Not by much, like almost a half a size. So I always have to get the one foot. I either got to cram my foot into one shoe that's too tight or kind of flop around in the other one. Maybe put a little bit of tissue or something in it. But now that I'm getting older and my feet are kind of spreading, I don't have that issue, but back when I was younger I did. So I had gone to Rockport, I tried the shoes on, I didn't really walk in them too much, I just tried them on, they fit, I bought them, they were $100. I came home, I went for my walk the next day, I walked like 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles, and I came home and my foot kept hurting, and I thought, well, you know, new shoes, you gotta break them in, and, but then I thought, no, usually you get a blister on the back of your foot, not on the sole of your foot. So then I look and I was bleeding on the sole of my foot, and I look in the shoe and there was like a little nail that had come up through the shoe. I don't know how I didn't feel it when I was walking, but it had poked a hole in the thing. So the next day I had the receipt, but it was obviously, you could see that I wore them because I wore them out in the cement. And I went into the store and they did have signs up, no refunds, but it didn't say exchanges, it just said no refunds. So I went up to the clerk and I, explained the situation and told her, like all I want to do is exchange the shoes. And she said, well, we don't exchange shoes, And I go, well, it has a nail in it, it's defective. And I showed her the nail that came through the thing, and she said, well, we don't. And I go, well, I want to speak to the manager. So then she says, well, I am the manager, which probably was true because she was the only one in the store. And I said, well, this is ridiculous. I paid $100 for these shoes the day before yesterday. I went for a walk yesterday. The nail came through. It's shoddy, workmanship. Nope, can't take it back. Can't take it back. And I go, well, you have to take it back. And she says, no, we don't. You need to leave. And I caused such a scene. So they called security. So security came and they said, well, I'm sorry, ma'am, but that's their policy. And I said, there's no sign that said no exchanges. I don't know what to tell you. I just want to exchange the shoe. I don't want a refund. I just want to exchange the shoe because I really like the shoe. I said, even if she just wants to exchange the one shoe, and send it back, I don't care. And they said, no, you have to leave. So he escorted me out of the store. It was in a mall. So he escorted me out of the store. And so then I waited a little bit. And then I stood outside, went back in again. And I said, you're really not going to give me it. In the meantime, she had made up a sign, no refunds or exchanges, and posted it on the wall. I said, that sign was not there a minute ago. And she says, that sign has always been there. That sign was not there. So she says, well, I'm going to call security again. So So I says, no, fine, I'll leave. So I left and I stood outside the store. And then when anytime anybody went to go in the store, I showed them my receipt of the shoe that I bought the day before and showed them the shoe with the nail that came through and told them that they wouldn't let me get exchange. And so I didn't think they should buy a pair of shoes from them because they don't have a really good return policy and they don't stand behind their merchandise. Some people didn't listen to me. Some people did, and they just continued on walking. Whether they went back at another time because they just didn't want to deal with the wacko at the door, I don't know. But for the longest time, I stood there, and then the security guard came, and so he said, you again? And I go, well, yeah. I said, I'm standing out in the mall. She can't say anything about this. And he said, but you're blocking customers from coming in. I says, I am not blocking the door. People can come in. He says, you cannot be here. You have to leave. And I go, well, I have the right to be in the mall. He says, you have not got the right to be here antagonizing people. I'm going to escort you out of the mall. So he escorted me out of the mall. So I waited till he was gone. Then I came back in. And I stood by the door and started my procedure again with everybody. And so the lady the manager come to the door and she says, you can't be doing this. You're scaring away my customers. I said, all I want you to do is exchange the shoes. I said, I work in retail. I know how it works. You send it back you get they're called a VCB, which is a vendor chargeback. I said, you just VCB this shoe. You get full credit for the shoe. And then I can have another shoe, and it's not going to look like your sales or anything. You lost any sales. It's not going to affect your inventory in any way, shape, or form because you're exchanging it as an even exchange and you're sending it back as a VCB. And she says, oh, you know all the terminology. And I go, well, can you send it back? She says, on defective merchandise we can. And I go, well, this is defective merchandise. She says, I'm not going to argue with you. We're not taking it back. No refunds, no exchanges. So then she called it, like on her little walkie-talkie, she called security again. So they came and I said, you don't know, I'm going. So he walked me to the door and he stood outside the door. So I walked like I was leaving. So I walked around the whole mall, came in another door, came back in. So she called him again and he comes and he says, what am I going to have to do to get rid of you? And I says, another pair of shoes. So she says to the lady, she says, it's early. Do you want her here all day? Because you know what? I'm not going to keep chasing her out. And even if I keep chasing her out, you can see she's going to keep coming back. And we can't arrest her. She's not done anything illegal. Fine. Come here. We'll get you another pair of shoes. So I got another pair of shoes. I was nice the whole time. And it's not like they lost any money. They got their money back from the shoes, I'm quite sure. But it was just the point that there was something wrong with the shoe. And then the new shoes, they work perfectly. I kept those for years and years, because it's a good shoe. A Rockport is a very good shoe. And I have nothing bad about the company at all. I just have this particular shoe store, which is no longer in business. Go figure. And it wasn't because of what happened in the last year. It went out of business years and years and years ago. Customer service. Although, you know, there's no such thing as customer service right nowadays. There really isn't. I mean, it used to be the customer's always right, but then the customer kind of abused that. And because there's like a nice way of doing things and there's a nasty way of doing things. And nowadays I think that more of the nasty comes out of people than the nice. And so therefore, customer service, bye-bye. No more. And it's our own fault. It really is. It is our own fault. So anyway, Sharon, I hope you liked the story. It was a repeat. It was like a rerun. So, anyway, for breakfast, I'm going to have a hard-boiled egg and a banana and a slice of toast. And then that's not going to hold me over because we know I eat mass quantities of food. So in a couple hours, I'm just going to have a small salad. And then for dinner, like I said, we're going to have the hamburger and french fries. And I'm going to have my... Thank you, Joan, at Joan's Pointed Plate. She gave me the recipe for the Starbucks imitation passion fruit iced tea lemonade. It's my absolute favorite, and it's 0 points. And even if it was 1 point, it's so worth it. It's so delicious. It's so easy to make, too. You boil water. You put 2 Tazo, T-A-Z-O, tea bags in 32 ounces of water, and you let it steep. And then once it's, you know, like cooled off, then you add another 32 ounces of cold water, and you put a packet of Crystal Light. I use the Fruit Punch Crystal Light because I like to make it a little punchier. But I also have used the regular Crystal Light. And you mix it up and you put it in the fridge. It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. And so that's what I'm going to have with my burger instead of a pop. So anyway, that's going to do it. Happy Sunday. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button, and share it if you might think somebody might like to see it. If I see some funny cartoons, I'm going to post them along the way. So I'm going to end the video with my cartoon of the week, or the cartoon of the day that I liked. Okay, talk to you guys tomorrow.